Tough loss, Aaron. I thought that you guys were really good in the first half, and then obviously in the sort of third quarter they ran away. What are your just general thoughts, basically, just after coming off the ground?
Look, obviously disappointment. I think 9 goals to 2 second half was probably a bit disappointing. I thought we competed really well for the first half. I thought our efforts and attack on the footy and our overall pressure of them showed that they're not necessarily invincible, but and on the second half, they showed why they're a quality side and why they won the premiership last year and why they sit on top of the ladder.
What were you thinking at halftime when you went into the rooms with the boys?
Oh, look, we still wanted to play our brand of footy. We thought if we had to maintain that pressure, so we were under no illusions that the job was done at half time. We probably just didn't rise to the challenge as enough as we wanted to in the second half. I think they probably wouldn't have been too happy, no doubt, at half time. So I reckon they rose above themselves in the second half and just found that extra leg, and we struggled to.
Glenorchy did miss probably what you'd think would be a few easy goals, but I thought as well that your defence probably saved 10 to 12 in a few desperate pressure acts. There was one stage where I think Cameron Johns laid 2 tackles and 3 smothers in about 10 seconds. Yeah. Who are you pleased with in the back line, or was it a whole team effort that you were?
A whole team effort. Look, I've praised our back line for the majority of the year, and it goes to show, look, those smothers and that from our tools, and we threw Tim Peterson back to play on Mitchell's. I thought he did a fairly good job on him today. Won a fair bit of his own footy, which was really good. Obviously threw Marcus Davies back. So our back six was a little bit different this week. He gave Marcus a job on Jay, and I thought he'd, for the most part, done a really good job. It was when their midfield got on top that was the feed to Jay was a lot better. But I thought when it was a bit scrappy, I thought MD did a really, really good job on him.
Do you think you dropped away quite a bit in the middle in the second half, particularly a ruck? It seemed Duffy was given the first use.
Yeah, look, we got smashed in the clearances. I think they beat us double digit in the clearances for the game. We'll look at that. That was disappointing because we spent a bit of time on that during the week. So, they've got a very elite midfield. I think Mitch Rainberg was really good. If he doesn't win the medal, he probably should do. I thought he was really good today for them. Obviously throw Mott and Webb, and I think Geard went through there a bit as well. And look, they're a hard midfield to stop, but they outworked us in the second half. We were a bit slower to react to our spread, and just was running behind, which is not how we want to play. So we want to pride ourselves on our work rate and being able to outwork opponents. But today in the second half, I think we got outworked.
In the defence, I thought you guys stood up, especially in the first half, as Gilly said. It just looked, particularly in the first and second quarters, that once you guys got to half forward, you're really lacking in options. It looked like Batchelor and Walker had to, at one stage Batchy was right across half back. Is there anyone you're looking to bring in, or anyone you're thinking about trialling in that sort of across the forward line role to sort of give you guys a bit of...
Oh, look, we've got some other options. Yeah, we'll have a look at, and obviously we've got a couple of Mariner boys that that can play tall forward as well. Look, we didn't help ourselves with our forward entry either, so we had the options there at times, but we didn't kick to our advantage of our forwards. We kind of were happy to kick it to their +1 when they were sitting back there. So look, yeah, we spent some time on that during the week as well. We just didn't execute the way we wanted to.
The margin was an improvement on previous years against Glenorchy. Yeah. Do you think it was an improvement?
I think our ability to compete was a big improvement. I think Glenorchy, 6 goals to half time, which is great. 4 in the third and I think 5 in the last. I mean, previous years I think we'd had multiple goals, quarters kicked on us, but yeah, we want to be really competitive, and I thought we were, but we fell away. But I think you can see that we are improving as a group. We're still young, but we're still improving, and I think we brought a bit more physical presence today as well.
Oliver Burrows-Chin showed a bit on debut.
Yeah, look, he's a good young kid. I think he was All Australian the week before in the I can't remember what the name is. The
All Nations.
All Nations. So yeah, he's a young kid, but he's got a credible talent. He's got a credible speed. Look, we'll continue to develop him, and he'll actually develop into a pretty good midfielder when he gains a bit more experience. We use him a bit more forward today, just as his first senior game. But yeah, he's an exciting talent, and yeah, you should keep an eye out for him.
I thought Jack Pearce did some good things in the first half. He did come off with the ankle. Is there any news there?
Yeah, look, I haven't checked the injury report yet, but yeah, he's after half time he injured his ankle early, and yeah, it just wasn't right. So risk versus reward, we took him off and didn't want to risk any further injury with that, given we got the week off. So we threw Cooper Sorty forward, and look, he led up well on his endeavour at the footy. Was really good, but again we just didn't use the footy forward well enough.
As you mentioned, bye coming up. What's that entail for you guys?
Look, we've had a bit of an indifferent staff. We'd have Sunday game, we've had a Friday game, we've had a Saturday game, we've had a Tuesday game. So, we'll rest. I mean, we'll review the game on Thursday. Obviously, have the weekend off, and then be just pretty standard next week. Back to normal, 3 nights a week, and ready for a Saturday night game against Lauderdale. Yeah,
with the Lauderdale game, obviously, you guys like to play fast pace and a physical brand of football. They're pretty similar in that kind. What are your I guess thoughts on that matchup coming up?
Oh look, I've been worried about Glenorchy until today, so I haven't really thought too far ahead about Lauderdale. So I'll start preparing for that now. So yeah, I haven't really got any comment for that one.
2-2 at the bye. Are you happy with it where you're at? Ahead of where you thought you'd be?
Oh look, we'll take that. I think if you looked at the first 4 games, I think 2-2 would be pretty happy with that. But yeah, like I said during my pre-match, we were 2-1 last year and we fell away. So we're really conscious that that's not going to happen this year. So we've got some games that we think are winnable games coming up. Like I said, our Mariners are going to play a really important part in the second half of the year when we get that back, because we've got some quality Mariners through the group. There's 5 or 6 of those boys that can come straight into any senior team. So to get some good wins in early, I think's good for the group.
Well, Ace, another win. Probably didn't play your best footy though.
No, it was result obviously in the end, but we really wanted a contest, which we got, and we were really happy about. But to a credit, Kingston came with a lot of pressure and they put it on us, and we were able to absorb that and get the result in the end with kicking 9 in the second half.
Big break coming into today's game. Do you think that was a factor with the start at all?
Yeah, that was always going to be the case. Even though Kingston come off 10-day break themselves, we come off 17. And last year, with the results that we had, we were very lucky to get a couple of teams off the break. But yeah, that was always going to be tough. That's probably why it was scrappy, and we knew that was going to be the case, and they were going to come with pressure.
Do you think, Ace, in the first half, maybe your boys, you don't want to say complacent, but do you think they were just a little bit more relaxed in their approach? Sort of a couple of extra handballs in the forward 50 instead of just taking the shots on goal?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily put it down to relax. It was just simple football areas that they really should have capitalised on. If you take a mark in the modern game now, there's only a certain amount of times to rotate. You get 30 seconds, that's why they time it in the AFL. So if you're inside 50 as a forward, you should be going back to have a shot. There's a couple of times guys just tried to be a bit too cute, and that was probably a bit of a ball over of winning by the same margin, a large margin, which we did last time, that the guys just tried to share the ball around a bit too unselfishly. If you're a forward, that's what you're paid to do, kick the goals.
Did it come down to attack in the first half? Is that something in particular you weren't happy with?
Oh, there was a bit of defensive rust, I thought, and our first touch was a little bit off. I think there was a couple of guys just couldn't pick the ball up below legs, which is, we did do a lot of training over the period, but you're not going to get game-like pressure or be able to imitate that. So we got that off Kingston, as I mentioned. They were fantastic in the first half. Look, we just didn't do the simple things well, I thought, in the first half, and in the end the free kick count was 27-11, so they beat us to the ball. And that's just an old-fashioned sort of football thing, that they beat us to the ball and they rewarded the free kicks, even though our intent to win tackle was there, but just I thought our technique could have been better at times, and we gave away some silly 50s.
Do you think they've improved?
Oh, they've certainly improved, and they'll be very hard to beat at Twin Ovals, and again we look forward to that contest in the future, but we really wanted a tight game, and that's what we got. I think it was just a bit of a blowout towards the end. We managed to just get on top of them a little bit with our clearance work. Mitchy Rainbow, I think, had 10 clearances, which is phenomenal. So, he's done himself notice honours for the state sort of selection. So he had a good game, but there were some guys that really played some team game. Jolly Millhouse from Mom was really good. Braden Webb played ball off half back. Our key post in Parker and Hall, and Connor Sider kicked his first senior goal. He was a great presence forward, and Jay copped a beating, which was disappointing from a professional football player that played on him. And Jay's managed to have 10 shots on goal and took a beating. So he's a class player, and we're very lucky to have him at our club.
Were you happy with the second half response, I guess, after a bit of a lacklustre start?
Yeah, I think as a coaching staff we felt that there was always going to be a turn of the tide, and we just had to wait for that. But it looked disappointing. We've spoken about playing 4 quarters of footy in our start, and we didn't have that today.
You just mentioned Connor Salter. His goal was just a beautiful kick, and I noticed he had a few other really clean clean disposals around the ground. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, look, Connor's played a lot of development league football for our club, and in the past we've had guys. We had nearly 5 guys in the back line of the state team last year that were playing senior footy. So it's just been a bit of a bide just time for Connor, and he's continued to put his hand up for senior selection, which he has done. And today it was a bit of a mixed game. He played forward and back, and look, great reward for some hard work. He managed to clunk that mark and went back. And it is a concern when you aren't getting your hands on the footy, but he's got his hands on the footy, kicked the goal, and that's one thing we're very proud with Hillsy as well. He got his hands on the footy. It's just now we've got to get him to kick a goal.
What's the story with his goal kicking?
Oh, I think the big fella claims a bear in the square. I'm sure that the state's under 18s coaches will give him a bit of hell this week. But now look, he's just got to go back and slot it and just have a bit of confidence in himself. I think as a big marking presence, which we want, and he not only that though, it's just the bulk work he did. He laid a great tackle, which I thought should have been rewarded for holding the ball, and he just crushed a couple of big packs. So now he's starting to get his hands on it. I'd hate to be playing on him down there. He's a strong man.
Big Duffy's doing well in the ruck, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Duff had a bit of a slow start, and that was mentioned and brought up at quarter time, but then he responded really well and had a great 3 quarters. He's putting some great football together, and he's a big mobile guy, and he's just done a lot of work. He's been at our club now for 3 years. He's obviously Premiership ruckman, but this is definitely the best 3 games I've seen him play.
Trip up to Burnie now, mate?
Yeah. Look, short turnaround on Sunday, so it's these guys don't have any bigger road trip than heading up to Burnie to play, and we get this on Sunday, so we're looking forward to that. Burnie are playing really good footy. Mick McKenna, Morrison, and both the Water boys were great the other day against Hobart City. So look, they're going to be a great challenge at home. They've got some great young players in, I think Bosendale, I think it is. He's a guy down back that really stood out the other day. They've got some young debutants, but they're a different team to beat at home, and it's certainly a game of 2 halves, especially depending on which way you kick.
You're hoping you sort of find your best footy against Burnie, I guess. You've got a couple of big weeks off the back of that. Yeah, we've got a massive block of footy. We play 3 games, so that's our first of 3 in 10 days. So we're back here to play Clarence at home after that. So it's a big block of footy. We do hope to improve. So again, there's some things that we'll address. There's not many times to train between now and then. It's just about recovery for us. So there's some things that we'll address. Probably that was happening in our first 2 games, but because of the period of time that didn't so we didn't get our hands on the ball simply by playing. But hopefully it'll kick back into gear on Sunday, and we'll be able to move forward to a big patch of 3 home games against teams that are flying at the moment. Beautiful. Thanks, Ace.
Too easy, boys.